Imagine what might be going through a father's mind when he knows that prices would spike tomorrow and everything would become 2 times costly. Imagine the helplessness of the people struggling to survive. Today, we will be looking at some of the countries that have lived through this. Some people might think, well, something that happened in the past stays there and it won't repeat. And apart from that, we are much smarter now. But history is like a mirror. History has proven that whenever governments get into deep debt, they try the exact same trick. Instead of mixing cheap metal into coins like Romans did in the past, today they just print way too much paper money. What did the Romans do? If you want to know, then watch this video. And subscribe to this channel for content that adds actual value to your life. Okay, then let's move ahead. Germany, 1923. Following World War I, Allied powers demanded heavy foreign reparations from Germany. To pay off its massive bills, the German government turned on the printing presses. The national debt skyrocketed from 156 billion marks at the end of the war to an astronomical hundreds of quintillions of marks by late 1923. With no choice left, they just printed endless cash to pay it off, completely hollowing out the currency. It was a total disaster. Inflation went out of control. A single loaf of bread that used to cost 160 marks in 1922 suddenly costs 200 billion marks. Parents gave their kids stacks of cash to use as building blocks because the paper was worth less than actual toys. People carried their paychecks home in wheelbarrows just to buy groceries. This massive money mess made people desperate. Did you know during this period, salaries were given to employees 2 times a day? Yes, you heard it right. As soon as they were paid, these employees used to flood all the stores and buy necessities before the prices spiked again. And believe me, the prices did spike 2 to 5 times daily. The same thing happened to a country not in the 1920s or 50s, but to Zimbabwe in 2008. The government printed so much cash that prices doubled every single day. You heard it right, prices doubled every single day. Did you know Zimbabwe even printed a $100 trillion bill? It might sound huge, but it couldn't even buy a bus ticket. Eventually, they had to discard their own currency and started using US dollars instead. United States, 1971. Even the United States has followed this path. President Richard Nixon made a big change. Before then, every paper dollar in America was linked to real gold, locked in a vault. Nixon broke that link. From that day on, the dollar became fiat money, which means it's backed by nothing but a promise. Why did President Nixon take this step? The U.S. was spending heavily on the Vietnam War and domestic programs, hence it resorted to printing far more paper dollars than it had gold to back up. Foreign nations grew suspicious of America's overprinted currency, and due to this fear, they started demanding their gold back. In coming days, they began aggressively trading their paper dollars back to the U.S. Treasury for physical gold bars. When every country started demanding their gold back, Nixon, fearing of going bankrupt, secretly met with advisors at Camp David and decided to close the gold window permanently to protect American reserves. Since then, the government has printed trillions of dollars. We don't need wheelbarrows of cash yet, but your money is losing its power. $1 in 1971 could buy the same amount of stuff that costs over $8 to $10 today. The bills look identical, but their value has been hollowed out. When governments print endless money, the richest people usually stay safe because they own real things like buildings and land. But regular families living on normal salaries and savings watch their hard work melt away. Rome learned the hard way that you can't cheat the rules of money. And if we don't watch out, we will learn it the hard way too. Where did the Romans go wrong? If you want to know, then watch this video.